We've all been there. You're driving down the interstate when traffic starts to slow down. A few seconds later, your phone or in-car navigation lights up with the familiar message, save 4 minutes, exit now. So you take the exit, and so do dozens of cars around you. Within a minute, the off-ramp is backed up, the traffic lights are packed, and the shortcut you were promised has become just another traffic jam. It makes you wonder, did anyone actually save those 4 minutes? Navigation apps are incredibly good at helping individual drivers, but what happens when thousands of drivers receive the exact same advice at exactly the same time? Well, today I want to explore a question that sounds almost backwards. Are navigation apps making traffic worse? But I want to be clear from the beginning. This is not a video about why navigation apps are bad. I don't think they're bad. In fact, they're pretty amazing. They help us avoid accidents, construction, road closures, and a lot of the time, traffic we would never have seen coming. But they also change the way traffic acts. Navigation apps have evolved to do something interesting. They collect information from the crowd and then they send information back to that same crowd. And once you see the feedback loop, the whole problem becomes easier to understand, even if it's not easy to solve. So think about it. Your phone is not just looking at a map and guessing which road should be fastest. It is constantly learning from real drivers. It sees how quickly traffic is moving and where cars are slowing down. It essentially sees where congestion is forming and when a road suddenly stops moving. Every driver using the app becomes a tiny anonymous signal. One phone doesn't tell you too much, but thousands of phones tell you a lot. That's what makes modern navigation so powerful. It doesn't have to guess that an interstate is congested. It can see the evidence in real time because the people sitting in that traffic are providing the data. If everyone on the interstate slows to 10 miles per hour, the system knows something has changed. And if the surface streets nearby are still moving, the system can compare those routes. So if the alternate route looks faster, the app does what it's designed to do and it tells you to take it. That sounds pretty simple, but that's where the problem starts. You aren't the only driver asking the question, nor the only one getting a near instant answer. Hundreds or maybe even thousands of other people are asking the same navigation app or similar navigation app the same question at the same time. How do I save time? And if the same data points to the same exit, a lot of those drivers get exactly the same answer, which is take the next exit. This is exactly what everyone else is being told. At that point, the shortcut is no longer just a shortcut. It has become a destination. 1,000 drivers leaving the interstate is a traffic pattern, and that's the part that can make navigation feel almost self-defeating. The app uses crowdsourced data to find a better route, but then it gives that better route back to the crowd. The crowd responds, the road fills up, and the route that looked faster a few minutes ago may not be faster at all anymore. The first driver may have found a shortcut. The 1,000th driver may have just found traffic. That doesn't mean that the app was wrong, it means traffic is dynamic. The fastest route changes because thousands of drivers reacted to the same information at the same time. This is why the question is not as simple as, does navigation work? Of course it does. The better question might be, what is the navigation app actually optimizing? Most of the time, it is trying to find the fastest route. But fastest is not the same thing as best. And fastest is not always meaningfully faster than the next alternative, nor is it meaningfully faster to you. A navigation app may care about saving for a minute, or that one route is 1,000 feet shorter. You might not care about that. Those are mathematical improvements, but they are not always improvements that matter to you as a driver. When you are lost, blindly following navigation is fantastic. It gets you somewhere you don't know how to go. But even when you don't already know the road and the app is offering a tiny improvement, you have to remember what it's doing. It's optimizing, it's not perfect, and it's not deciding what matters. That part is still your job. If the app says there's a 25-minute delay ahead because of a crash, that's one thing. That is meaningful and it's probably worth changing your route. Or if there is a road closure, a major backup, or a real incident that has just happened, the app may save you a lot of time because it sees the problem faster than you can. In that moment, navigation is at its best. It detects a new problem, compares alternatives, and gives you a way around it before you are trapped in the backup. But a 4-minute savings is different. That kind of estimate can disappear very quickly, and hundreds of other drivers taking the same exit can erase it almost immediately. That's why timing matters. If an event just happened, the app may genuinely be showing you an opportunity. The road ahead has suddenly slowed, the alternate route has not filled up yet, and you may be one of the first drivers to get out of the backup. But if the delay has been going on long enough for the exit ramp to fill, the calculation has changed, and now the alternate route isn't empty anymore. The crowd has already moved and the feedback loop has already started. By that point, the route that looked faster when the app first calculated it may be carrying the same traffic the app was trying to avoid. The map on your dashboard looks clean and confident. It draws a line, gives you a time, and tells you what to do, but the real world is messier than that. Every car around you is making decisions too. Some people follow the app, some people stay on the interstate, while others change their minds too late. Some people block the exit lane and some people cut across at the last second, while others try to take the neighborhood route and then get stuck at the first light. The app can process an incredible amount of information, but it can't remove the fact that thousands of people are reacting at the same time, and that's why a shortcut can stop being a shortcut. This is also why navigation apps can feel so much less magical during everyday congestion than they do during a true emergency. During normal rush hour, the app may be trying to squeeze small improvements out of a crowded system, so it may send some drivers to one road, some to another, and then some through a neighborhood, and maybe some back to the interstate. A computer in general is incredibly good at answering the question that's been asked, and that question is, what is the fastest route right now? But that's not always the question you care about. The question you care about is this route worth it? Will I actually arrive earlier, or am I just joining a different traffic jam? Those are not purely mathematical questions, they're judgment calls. And unfortunately, the app cannot completely make the judgment for you. You still have to decide whether the proposed savings matters in the grand scheme of what you're dealing with. That is the real takeaway. Not ignoring your navigation app, not navigation apps are bad, and certainly not always stay on the interstate. Navigation apps know how to optimize a route. They don't know what optimization is worth to you. That is the piece we have to put back into the process. So the next time your phone says it can save 4 or 5 minutes, don't treat that number like a command. Treat it like information. Ask yourself whether the alternate route still looks like an opportunity or whether it already looks like a new traffic jam. Sometimes the app is absolutely right. Sometimes it sees a problem before you do and the reroute really does save time. But sometimes the app finds the same shortcut for everyone, and once everyone takes the shortcut, it's just another road full of cars. That's why navigation apps can both help traffic and make certain traffic problems worse. They can help individual drivers make better choices, but when enough individual drivers receive the same advice, those choices can reshape the system. So, are navigation apps making traffic worse? Sometimes. In some places, yes. They see, predict, and they influence traffic. That last part is the one we forget. Navigation apps do not just observe the road anymore. They participate in it. They take crowdsourced data, turn it into routing advice, and send it back to the same crowd that created the data. Then the crowd moves and the traffic changes again. So when the app says, save 4 minutes, exit now, the real question is not whether the app can calculate a route. Of course it can. The real question is whether those 4 minutes are worth joining everyone else who just got the same advice. Technology is incredibly good at optimization, but judgment is still the driver's job. This is Wrench and Reason, where we explain how modern cars actually work. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.